What is going on, YouTube? Team Gradelock here. I'm your host, Henry. And like I say to all my wonderful fuck faces in the world, miss you, love you, love you. Today we got a deck profile with Dave Chen, aka Chrono Dave, aka that Zodiac Time Beast guy. Now, if you guys already don't know, he has multiple deck profiles. He's been multiple topping at Blue Short events, Day 2, stuff like that, ARG, and he has an updated deck list of ZTB, and he's gonna break it down for us. Take it away, Dave.
Alright, so ZTB, I missed set 11 because, to be honest, around that time I was kind of out of the game, but I'm back in for set 12 because set 12 was amazing, and this card right here is a godlike, and I'm going to explain that later. So first off, we're going to start with starters. Chrono Dave, 2 SP for extra points. Reasons being is because it's first off 5k, GB1. His ability is when he's put into the bind zone, soul charge. When he's put into the bind zone from rear guard, soul charge himself, switch over Chrono Jet grade 3 and call to rear guard circle. It's good because timely plays are very aggressive and it just nets you more advantage. So honestly, Chrono Dran's the best starter. You can play Dran G, however, that's more like a battle phase aggressive deck, and it's not my cup of tea. We're gonna go into our grade 3s, and you play 4 Chrono Jet Dragon G because Chrono Jet Dragon G is God, greatest card ever. His ability is that when you stride into a Gear Dragon or a Zodiac Time Beast, you choose a card from your hand, call it to rear guard circle. Choose up to 1 card from your hand, call it to rear guard circle. Then choose up to 1 card on your board and time leap it. So that's in itself, your entire stride zone is most likely going to be Gear Dragons and Zodiac Time Beast. This card's amazing for that ability. And his second ability is just bonkers, because if you can't stride, you have power plays on rear guards. His ability is, during your turn, continuous, Vanguard Circle. During your turn, all your Zodiac Time Beast rear guards get +1 power for every 2 face-up G units in your G zone. And himself gets +5 for every face-up 2. So if you have at least like 4, he's swinging for 21 by himself, and your rear guards get +2. Why is this a bad card? Why is this such a good and free card? I have no idea, but I'm not going to complain. Alright. Next, we're going to go into 1 Pulsar Replenish Quaddle. You can play 2 of this. I will show you the substitute later, but it's a really good card because this deck does burn out Counterblast very fast. Because a lot of your good cards use a Counterblast. His ability is when he's placed on rearguard circle from the deck, he gets +3k power, and if you have no face-up damage, you unflip 1. So self-explanatory, get at least 1 counter charge. Granted, it would be better if it was 1 or less, but you know, whatever, we can't have it all. Really shouldn't have it all. Next is Chrono Fang Tiger G. This is the substitute, yet you can play 2 of him. However, I like the little bit of control, so that his ability is when he attacks a Vanguard, at the end of battle, Soul Blast 1, bind 1 of your rear guards, send a unit in the same column on your opponent's board to the bottom of the deck. So honestly, it's just good for control. I mean, granted, it's very situational, but if you really need it, it's just good to have. Finally, your last grade 3 is going to be Pulsar. What the hell is his name is? Obstinacy Ox. His ability is a really good beater. His ability is continuous. He gets +1 for every face-up card in your G zone. Standard. So if you have 3 face-up, he's a 14k attacker. His second ability is Act. 1 turn, Counterblast 1. This unit gets +1 for every face-up card in your G zone. So let's say you're out of strides, and you have 16 cards face-up. Call this. Gets +16. Second ability, Counterblast 1, gets another +16, so that's +32. And you know what's even better? If you have him on board, if he's on your Vanguard, cool. Guess what? He gets +4. He gets additional +8, so that's +40. This is a 51k rear guard in the late game, super late game, and it kills your opponent. Because why the hell not? Why is this a thing? Why is this a thing? I have no idea, but it is. It's a good beater, and you should play it. Or you can play another Quaddle, or you can play 1 Fang. You know, it's up to you. On to grade 2s. Play 3 Lugal Ure. I love this card. I have loved it since set 9. This card is an 11k attacker for 4 GB. Why people don't play this is beyond me. I guess people would want to play like Control or play like something like I don't know, Duplex Dragon or Replenish a Rewind Tiger, but I like him at 3 because he's an 11k attacker and he just beats face. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, and his second ability is Soul Blast 1. When your drive check reveals GB1, when your drive check reveals a grade 3 Zodiac Time Beast, you time leap it. It's for multi-attack. You don't use it for that. You use the fact that it's a free 11k attacker. Next up, you play 4 Pulsar Cruising Dragon. It's a searchable draw. It's a control draw, and it's so good. So if you're on a Cardfight Vanguard, GB1, it gets +2, and while this unit attacks, counterblast 1, check the top 3 cards, search for 1 Zodiac Time Beast unit, add to your hand. G guards, perfect guards, grade 1s, stride assist, grade 3s, grade 2s, anything you want. So good. It's just it's an 11k attacker too. Oh my gosh. It just makes for really strong plays and makes sure you don't drop in hand size. Next, you play 2 Pulsar Spearhead Unicorn. You're probably asking me why I'm only playing 2. It's because his ability, I'll explain his ability. His ability is when you're on a Cardfight Vanguard, he's a permanent 11k. And when he attacks, you counterblast 1. For every other Zodiac Time Beast unit on your board, you get to check that many cards on top of your deck and call 1 Zodiac Time Beast unit onto the board. So you're wondering why I'm only playing such a good card at 2. It's because he can't call himself. So you don't want to see him too often. You want to see him when you want to go into like your searchable plays, or you want to go into your aggressive plays, but you don't want to whiff on him. You want to always hit something good. That's why you play 4 cruising. You can play 3 and 3, but I prefer playing 2 and 4. My last 2, Reluctant Pulsar Rewind Tiger. He's a good card. I'm gonna say that. I'm not really, but I don't like the top deck aspect. I don't like top decking and binding like a perfect guard or something. But the thing is, it's for the early game rush to break even and to just hit face while drawing a card. In the late game, he's not really that helpful. Maybe during like a Phoenix turn or something, but other than that, he's alright in my opinion. Next, grade 1s. 1 Steam Maiden Meshkia. Why? Because when you time beep into her, her ability is when you time beep into her, rest her, give a unit +4, and you draw a card. Early game draw. So cool. Time your Dran, get Meshkia, draw 1 card. Oh cool, and then you soul charge and get a grade 3 card jet. So you just got yourself 2 cards right there for nothing. That's so good. Why is that so good? Alright. Well, 1, because you need more Zodiac Time Beasts, and she is not a Zodiac Time Beast. Next, my personal favorite card, MVP, I have to say, Pulsar Tamer Hergard, whatever. His ability is continuous. If you have a grade 4 Vanguard, this unit gets Soul Blast 1. Put this unit to the bottom of the deck and choose a card in your drop zone. Send it to the bottom of the deck, and you countercharge 1. So remember how we only had like 1 other card that countercharges? Well, we have another one now, and it puts cards back. So you send back triggers, perfect guards, grade 1s, grade 2s, grade 3s, anything you need. He's just there. He's so good. The set makes me... Can't explain how good this card is in the late game. If you need to make sure you don't deck out, you call him, you Soul Blast, you send a card back, and you can control what... You can choose what order they go in. That's good. It's really good. His second effect is GB1 auto when students place on rear guard, you may soul charge 1. That's good because if you need a soul, you can automatically call him and soul charge 1. So honestly, it's a trade-off. It's best of both worlds. I think it's just a very strong card and it's really good for counter charging because this deck used a lot of counter blasts. Next, you play 3 Pulsar Revolver Draco Kid. Why 3, you say? It's because you could send cards back to the deck, and honestly, I have more space for better grade 1s like Hergardo and Meshkia. If I didn't play Meshkia, I would play 4. But honestly, I think he's really good at 3. I draw him when I need to, and if I don't, I could search him out later. Alright, then I play 4 Pulsar Transit Dragon. Alright, he's a Jeffrey clone, except he has to be on grade 4. We have this now. It's amazing. Set 11. You gave us such good cards. So basically at the end of battle, you have a grade 4 Vanguard with Chrono Dave's name. Soul Charge and draw a card. Self-explanatory, you draw more cards and gain soul. Last grade 1s. 4. Steam Tamer Arca. Bonus points for SP. Because its ability is drop a Zodiac Time Beast from your hand. You can guard any unit on your board. And that's really good. You can defend anything. Like you can stop like a VMAX or something, whatever. But her second ability is what's really good. Is it Act drops on GB2 when you have another copy of herself and a Zodiac Time Beast trigger. You bind those two, and you add this back from your drop zone back to your hand. Refetchable perfect guard, so good. Why not? Just so good. All right. Next, we're going to do triggers. 3 Chrono Valley Rabbit because it's a 5k Zodiac Time Beast trigger. It's a crit. And in the late game, it gets power when you're in Chrono Jet. So it can get +1, +2. Basically, it becomes a really good booster. It's not a 5k booster. It can become a 7k booster. It can become a 12k booster. Just a really good, strong card.
Okay, that makes the play now.
4 Pulsar Thruster Bison because we have a Soul Charge and crit now. He's a Zodiac Time Beast. He's Soul Charge, Axe. Choose one of your units and it gets +3. It's so good. Like, it helps you when your turns you need soul, and it just helps you reach the soul count. It helps you, if you want, you could soul blast him with Hogardo and then send him back to the deck. It just, like, and he's a crit trigger too, so it's just more pluses. 2 Chrono Dave Sheep. This is a preference for me. You can play 8 crit and 4 stand if you want. I play draws because I don't dig cards well enough. So I really want to hit the draw trigger or draw the draw trigger in order to like use it for like late game plays and using it for utility if I need to time leave something on my board. All right, 3 Pulsar Hypnosis Sheep. Again, you can play 4, but I play 3 because I play draw triggers. But it's such a good card. For the fact of the matter is, his ability is GB1. When this unit is placed on rear guard from hand, it gets this ability, red text. After one of your units attacks, Soul Charge this. Send a unit on your board to the bottom of the deck and restand a Zodiac Time Beast. So, multi-attack plays, bottom decking cards, and just 4k Zodiac Time Beast. Just it's such a strong card. Like, this card, in my opinion, should not have been made, but it's been made, and I'm abusing it, and I love it. It makes for multi-attack plays for your late game, for like your next stage, Gear Next plays, Phoenix plays, any play you ever want to make. You just call it from your hand, and then you just send back a trigger or a card you don't want on board. Finally, 4 Chrono Therapy Hamster. You can play any heal trigger, but I say it has to be Zodiac Time Beast, and this is hot stamps. So you can play the one from set 11, but it's a 4 Zodiac. It's a Zodiac Time Beast heal trigger, so why not? Finally, we're gonna get to our stride zone here. Alright. Let's start with Sue, Meta Pulsar Split Pegasus. It's a really strong card. It's a really good first turn stride because of all the new cards from the main deck. It's honest. It just, for the reason being, is that his ability is Axe Skill, Counterblast 1. Choose a face down unit in your G zone and turn it face up. You get to send one unit on your board to the bottom of the deck, and you call 2 grade 1 1 grade less units from that unit to the board. So you send back like a grade 2, you can call 2 grade 1s. You send back a grade 3, call 2 grade 2s. But they have to be Zodiac Time Beast. But that's not a problem because you play nothing but Zodiac Time Beast. That's a really good card. That's really strong because you get to build board. But his second ability is what comes in really clutch, is that continuous face up in the G zone. Because all your Zodiac Time Beasts in your front board, +1. So it makes a 15k column into a 16k column, a magic number. It makes magic numbers because it's in the G zone, because it feels like it. This card is so strong. It's just, oh my god. I'm not gonna say I condemn people for not playing this card, but I kind of do. I mean, if you don't want to play it, you cannot play it. You can play something else. You play 4 Phoenix if you want to. But I say that +2 is just too important. It's very strong. It's amazing. Next off, only 2 Meta Pulsar Avatar Phoenix. You're probably asking why only 2? Because this card hates me. Hates me with a passion. I will hit nothing but triggers during the top 5. It's nightmares. But for those who don't know, its ability is on attack, Counterblast 1. Check top 5. Switch up for every face of card in your G zone. For 1 card in your G zone, you get switch up 2 Zodiac Time Beasts. So if you have 2 face of cards in your G zone, excluding itself, you can switch up 4 units. If you have 3, then it's 6. But you really don't call 6. And they call them the rear guard, separate rear guard circles, and that's really good for multi-attack. We have a glorious rating for some reason. Like Christ, why? And its second ability, GB3. Get all your Zodiac Time Beasts on your board, get +2 besides himself. So it can make a 19k column, a 22k column. It can make, and if you have these 2 face up, it makes it a 24k column. It can make literally anything, almost anything on your board a magic number. It's just, and for multi-attacking, it's really, really strong. Oh god, like this, it's a really good card. But again, I only play it 2 because I whiff on this a lot. Next off. Oh boy, this took me some time. That's why I took the deck for a while so long. 4 Gear next, Chrono Dragon Gear next. Brownie points for SP. Alright, its ability is that Soul Blast 1, GB2, unflip a copy of himself. It gains the ability, after this unit attacks, send 3 Zodiac Time Beasts from your hand or field or hand, to the bottom of the deck, and restand him, get drive -2. Wow, that's pretty good. Oh wait, but there's more. Generation Break 3. Generation Break 4, my bad. Generation Break 4. When this unit restands after it attacks, gets +10 and drive +1. We have a Dogma, but better because we can send cards back from our hand or field. It's recyclability, it's power plays, and honestly, my personal favorite combo is that if you have these 2 Split Pegasus face up, and let's say you time leap into a where are you? Meshkia from like with a Dran or something. He becomes a 32k unit by himself before restanding. That's a magic number and super strong. Also, if you don't do this, but you have like this bull crit, and you still have these 2 face up, Soul Charge, this is a 31k. Magic numbers are so strong in this game, guys. And then when he restands, 42k, 41k. It's just, guys, I can't express how much I love. Like, this card is what this deck should not have gotten, but we got, and I love it. It's a really strong card. It's really good against control. It's good against just being just to oppress your opponent. It's a good kill card too. Next off, Zodiac Chrono Dragon next stage. Wanna why? It's a restanding Vanguard. You restand into Chrono Jet, and it's a restanding Vanguard, guys. I can't explain it enough. Generation Break 2. After this unit attacks, Counterblast 1, drop 3 cards from your hand, or restand as destride, unflip a copy of himself, restand as Chrono Jet. You have to have a Chrono Jet heart. It's such a strong card. No matter what, this card I feel it will always be played in Gear Chronicle. Unless you play like budget, but whatever. But it's a really strong card. Two Chronos Command Revolution. I went back to this card because Link Joker is coming up, and this is my answer. This is my answer next to Chrono Fang. It's because if you do this in the right timing, you can stop them from gaining the advantage, and you can make them commit to board all over again. So realistically, you have to time this. It's really meticulously timed. But his effect is GB2. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, Counterblast 1. Send back all rear guards. Send back all rear guards of all fighters to the bottom of the deck. So yeah, realistically, if your opponent has a low card count in their hand or an average card count in their hand, but they're at like high damage, you can pressure them with this card to make them drop more cards, and then they have to rebuild the board. While you don't have to care because you just send back nothing. Because they like, or you basically send back barely anything. Onto G guards, 2-header round because it's not restricted for us. So if you're on Cardfight Vanguard, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, send it back to the deck, shuffle, and they top deck Superior Call a unit from the top of their deck. In my opinion, it's an okay card because it's a double-edged sword. Your opponent can't call something good. So like per se, if you're playing against blasters, you send back a Lu, they call back a Blaster Blade, and they have a Flog on board. Why not? You send back a Photon, you send away a Photon, and they call a Photon. Oh god, you send back like what, a Menace Laser or something? You send back away a Neo Flame. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. All right, it's a good card, but it can hurt you.
It's a gamble.
Yep. One, Retroactive Time Maiden Uru, because her first G Guardian we ever got, and we still play it. Because her ability is, when she's placed in Guardian Circle, you send back a normal unit and a trigger to the bottom of the deck, and she gets +5 to shield. You put back more cards, guys. Why not? You send back a heal trigger, crit, draw, stand. God, good cards. Finally, one Highbrow Steam Rapana. Mostly because the fact of the matter is, you play 2 Drans. You can fetch out your draw triggers because you can deck out in this deck. But honestly, it's just a free 10k shield. You don't play Arlem anymore because you don't play the other Chrono Jet. I don't play the new Uru because I like to use all my G Guardians. I like to time them right, and honestly, it's just a really strong card, just to put back cards that you need in the deck. Like if you have a Unicorn and you need cards to call back out with Unicorn. So honestly, like, I love this card. It's a really strong 25k shield, and realistically, I can't say anything wrong about this card. Alright guys, that was my deck profile. Comment if you want to know any more combos. Let us know what you want to see next for our deck profile. And you know what? That's Chrono Dave or Team O.N.S Gradelock, and we heading out. Deuces, dude.
Thank you so much, guys.
AlphonZeus, who's a shit.
Oh, no.